know how anxious your guardian. You should improve yourself every week. He laid a particular stress on your German, as he was leaving for town yesterday.
Dear Uncle Jack is so very serious. Sometimes he's so serious that I think he cannot be quite well.
Cecily, I'm surprised at you. Mr. Worthing has many troubles in his life. Idle merriment and triviality would be out of place in his conversation. You must remember his constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man, his brother.
I wish Uncle Jack would allow that unfortunate young man, his brother, to come down here sometimes. We might have a good influence over him, Miss Prism. I'm sure you certainly would. You know German, and geology, and things of that kind influence a man very much.
I do not think that even I produce any effect on the character that, according to his own brother's admission, is irretrievably weak and vacillating. You must put away your diary, Cecily. I really don't see why you should keep a diary at all.
I keep a diary in order to enter the wonderful secrets of my life. If I didn't write them down, I should probably forget all about them.
Memory, my dear Cecily, is a diary that we all carry about with us.
Yes, but it usually chronicles the things that have never happened and couldn't possibly have happened.
To your word, child, these speculations are profitless.
But I see dear Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden. Dr. Chasuble, this is indeed a pleasure.
And how are we this morning? Miss Prism, I trust you are well?
Miss Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache. I think it would do her so much good to have a short stroll with you in the park, Dr. Chasuble.
Cecily, I have not mentioned anything about a headache.
No, dear Miss Prism, I know that, but I felt instinctively that you had a headache. Indeed, I was thinking about that, and not about my German lesson, when the rector came in.
Mr. Worthing, I suppose, has not returned from town yet?
We did not expect him till Monday afternoon.
Ah, yes. He usually likes to spend his Sundays in London.
I think, dear doctor, I will have a talk with you. I find I have a headache after all, and a walk might do it good.
With pleasure, Miss Prism, with pleasure. We might go as far as the schools and back.
That would be delightful. Cecily, you will read your political economy in my absence.
Horrid political economy! Horrid geography! Horrid German!
Excuse me, miss. Mr. Ernest Worthing has just driven over from the station. He has brought his luggage with him. He's waiting for you in the living room.
Mr. Ernest Worthing, before the Albany. Uncle Jack's brother! Ask Mr. Ernest Worthing to come here and talk with housekeeper about the room for him.
Yes.
I have never met any really wicked person before. I feel rather frightened. I'm afraid he will look just like everyone else. He does.
You're my little cousin Cecily, I'm sure.
You are under some strange mistake. I'm not little. In fact, I believe I'm more than usually tall for my age. But I'm your cousin Cecily. And you, as seen from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother. My cousin Ernest. My wicked cousin Ernest.
I'm not really wicked at all, cousin Cecily.
If you are not, then you have certainly been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. I hope you have not been leading a double life, pretending to be wicked and being really good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Of course I've been rather reckless.
I don't think you should be so proud of that. Though must have been very pleasant.
It is much pleasanter being here with you.
I cannot understand how you're here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back till Monday afternoon.
That is a great disappointment. I'm obliged to go up by the first train on Monday morning.
I think you had better wait till Uncle Jack arrives. I know he wants to speak to you about your emigrating.
About my what?
You're emigrating. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? Absolute die?
Well, he said on Wednesday night that you would have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Oh, well, this world is good enough for me, Cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
I'm afraid I'm not that. That is why I want you to reform me.
I'm afraid I've no time this afternoon.
Well, would you mind my reforming myself this afternoon?
I think you should try.
I will. I feel better already.
You're looking a little worse.
That is because I'm hungry.
How selfless of me. I should have remembered that when one is going to lead an entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. Won't you come in?
Thank you. Might I have a buttonhole first? I never have any appetite unless I have a buttonhole first.
Marital meal?
No, I'd sooner have a pink rose.
Why?
Because you are like a pink rose, Cousin Cecily.
I would hate you to be hungry a minute more. Come with me.
You're too much alone, dear Dr. Chasuble. You should get married. A means and shop, I can understand. A woman's shop, never.
The precept, as well as the practice of the primitive church, was distinctly against matrimony.
That is obviously the reason why the primitive church has not lasted up to the present day. But where is Cecily?
Perhaps she followed us to the schools? Mr. Walde.
Mr. Worthing, this is indeed a surprise. We did not look for you till Monday afternoon.
I have returned sooner than I expected. Dr. Chasuble, I hope you're well.
Dear Mr. Worthing, I trust this garb of woe does not betoken some terrible calamity.
My brother,
One shameful depth and extravagance.
Still leading his life of pleasure.
dead!
Your brother Ernest dead?
Quite dead.
What a lesson for him. He will profit by it.
To Ernest, he had many faults, but it is a sad, sad blow.
Sad indeed. Were you with him in the end?
No, he died abroad. In Paris, in fact. I had a telegram last night from the manager of the Grand Hotel.
Was the cause of death mentioned?
Severe chill, it seems.
SMS souls, so shall he read.
Charity, dear Miss Prism. Charity. None of us are perfect. I myself am peculiarly susceptible to draughts. Will the intern take place here?
No. He seems to have expressed desire to be buried in Paris.
In Paris? You no doubt would wish me to make some slight allusion on this tragic domestic affliction on the next Sunday. My sermon on the meaning of manna in the wilderness can be adopted on almost any occasion. Joyful, or, as in the present case, distressing. I have preached it at harvest celebrations, christenings, confirmations, on the days of humiliation and festival days?
I think you mentioned christenings. Dr. Chasuble, I suppose you know how to christen, right?
It is, I regret to say, one of the rector's most constant duties on this parish. I often spoken to the poorer classes on the subject, but they don't seem to know what shrift is.
But is there any particular infant whom you're interested in, Mr. Worthing?
It's not for any charity, Doctor. The fact is, I would like to be christened myself this afternoon, if you have nothing better to do.
Surely, Mr. Worthing, you have been christened already.
I don't remember anything about it. Do you think I'm a little too old now?
Not at all. At what hour you wish the ceremony be performed?
Would 5:30 do?
Admirably, admirably.
Uncle Jack! Oh, I'm pleased to see you back. But what horrid clothes you have got on. Do you go in chief then?
My child.
What is the matter, Uncle Jack? You look happy. You look as if you had toothache. And I have got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother.
Who?
Your brother Ernest. He arrived about half an hour ago.
What nonsense! I haven't got a brother.
Oh, don't say that. However badly he may have behaved to you in the past, he is still your brother. You wouldn't be so heartless as to disown him. I will tell him to come out, and you will shake hands with him, won't you, Uncle Jack?
These are such joyful tidings.
After we had all been resigned to his loss, his sudden return seems to me peculiarly distressing.
My brother is in a dining room. I don't know what all means, I think it's perfectly absurd. Good heavens!
Brother John, I have come down from town to tell you that I'm very sorry for all the trouble I've given you and that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
Uncle Jack, you are not going to refuse your own brother's hand.
Nothing will induce me to take his hand. I think he's coming down here disgraceful. He knows perfectly well why.
Uncle Jack, do be nice. There is some good in everyone, even in your brother. Ernest had just been telling us about his invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, of whom he's taking care so much.
I must say, I think Brother John's coldness to me is peculiarly painful. I expected a more enthusiastic welcome, especially considering it is the first time I have come here.
Uncle Jack, do be nice.
I think he should leave.
Uncle Jack, if you don't shake hands with Ernest, I will never forgive you.
Never forgive me?
Never, never, never.
Well, this is the last time I shall ever do it.
It's pleasant, is it not, to see so perfect a reconciliation? I think we should leave the brothers together.
Cecily, you will come with us.
Certainly, Miss Prism.
Algernon scoundrel, you must get out of this place as soon as possible. I don't allow any Bunbury here.
Excuse me, sir. I have put Mr. Ernest James in a room next to yours, sir. I suppose that's all right.
What?
Mr. Ernest's luggage, sir. I have unpacked it and put in a room next to your own.
His luggage? Next to my room?
Yes, sir.
Please, order a dog cart at once. Mr. Ernest has been suddenly called back to town.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
What a painful lie you are, Jack! I haven't been called back to town at all.
Yes, you have. Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interfered with my pleasures, in the smallest degree.
I don't quite understand that.
Well, Cecily's a darling.
You are not to talk of this kind like that. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like your clothes. You know, perfectly ridiculous in them. What on earth then should go up and change? Well,
Will you go if I change my clothes?
yes. If you're not too long. I never saw anybody who takes so long to dress and with such little result.
I tell you right, it is better than being always overdressed as you are.
If I am occasionally a little overdressed, I make up for it by being always immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous. Your conduct an outrage, and your presence in my garden utterly absurd. However, you have got to catch the 4:05 train, and I hope you will have a pleasant journey back to town. This Banburying, as you call it, has not been a great success for you.
I think it has been a great success. I'm in love with Cecily, and that is everything. But I must see her before I go and make arrangements for another Bunbury. Ah, there she is.
Oh, I merely came back to water the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
She's gone to order a dog cart for me.
Oh, is he going to take you for a nice drive?
He is going to send me away. But I don't care about Jack. I don't care for anybody in the whole world but you. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
You silly boy. Of course! Why have you been engaged for the last 3 months?
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism, and of course, a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Darling!
I accepted you under this dear old tree here. And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
My letters? But my own one? I have never written you any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I write always 3 times a week, and sometimes oftener. The 3 you wrote me after I had broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course it was, on the 22nd of last March.
But why on earth did you break it off? What had I done? I had done nothing at all.
It would hardly have been a really serious engagement if it hadn't broken at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out.
perfect angel you are, Cecily. You'll never break off our engagement again, Cecily?
I don't think I could break it off now that I have actually met you. Besides, of course, there is the question of your name.
Yes, of course.
You must not laugh at me, darling. But it had always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Ernest. There is something in the name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Ernest.
But, my dear child, do you mean to say you could not love me if I had some other name?
But what name?
Any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
My sweet, loving little darling, I really can't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. It is not at all a bad name. In fact, it is rather an aristocratic name. But seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algie, couldn't you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character, but I fear that I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Cecily? I must see you rector at once on the most important christening, on the most important business.
Oh,
I shan't be away for more than half an hour.
what an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal in my diary.
Excuse me, miss. Miss Fairfax has just called to see Mr. Worthing on very important business, Miss Fairfax states.
Pray, ask the lady to come out here, and you can bring tea.
Yes, miss. Miss Fairfax.
Pray, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew. What a very sweet name. Something tells me that we are going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much, after we have known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
If you wish.
Then, that is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
You are here on a short visit, I suppose.
Oh no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some female relative resides here also?
Oh no, I have no mother, nor in fact any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian.
Yes, I am Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh, it is strange He's the very soul of truth and honor. But even men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the influence of the physical charms of others.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn. Did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Ernest never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
Oh, I'm sorry to say they have not been on good terms for a long time.
That accounts for it. Of course, you are quite sure that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian.
Quite sure. In fact, I am going to be his.
I beg your pardon?
Dearest Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our little country newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My darling Cecily, I think there must be some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post on Saturday at the latest.
I'm afraid there must be some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you would care to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. I am so sorry, dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but I'm afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolyn, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish, but I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he clearly has changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have got into, I will never reproach him with that after we're married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous.
Excuse me, miss. Shall I make tea here as usual?
Yes, as usual.
Fairfax,
I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
no, flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Personally, I cannot understand how anybody manages to exist in the country. Country always bores me to death.
Ah, this is what the newspapers call agricultural depression, isn't it? I believe the aristocracy are suffering very much from it just at present. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Thank you. Detestable girl. But I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen at the best houses nowadays. go too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt that you were false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I'm trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt there are many other calls of a similar character to make in the neighborhood.
Ernest, my own Ernest. A moment, Mr. Morning. May I ask if you're engaged to be married to this young lady?
Do you know Cecily? Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I knew. There must be some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose arm is at present round your waist is my dear guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon?
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack! Oh!
Here is Ernest.
My own love.
A moment, Ernest. May I ask you, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what, young lady? Good heavens! Gwendolyn!
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolyn. To Gwendolyn.
Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may. I felt there must be some slight error. The gentleman who is now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief? Oh, are you called Algernon?
I cannot deny it.
Is your name really John?
I could deny it if I liked. I could deny it if I liked. But my name certainly is John. And it has been John for years.
A gross deception has been practiced on both of us.
My poor wounded Cecily.
My sweet, wrong Gwendolyn.
Will call the sister, will you not?
There is just one question that I would like to be allowed to ask my dear guardian.
An admirable idea. Mr. Worthing, there is just one question that I would like to be permitted to put to you. Where is your brother Ernest? We are both engaged to be married to your brother Ernest. So it is a matter of some importance for us to know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwendolyn, Cecily, it is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life I've ever been reduced to such a painful position. However, I will tell you quite frankly that I have no brother Ernest. I have no brother at all. I never had a brother in my life.
No brother at all?
None.
I am afraid it is quite clear, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It is not a very pleasant position for a young girl suddenly to find herself in, is it?
Let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to come after us there.
No. Men are so cowardly, aren't they?
It's they you see that? This would be what that
They don't seem to notice us at all. Couldn't you cough?
But I haven't got a cough.
that I might have an opportunity of meeting you.
That certainly seems a satisfactory explanation. Does it not?
Yes, dear, if you can believe him.
I don't. But that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True. In matters of importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Mr. Warding, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother?
Well,
Was it in order that you might have an opportunity of coming up to town to see me as often as possible?
Can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the gravest doubts upon the subject, but I intend to crush them. Their explanations appear to be quite satisfactory. Especially Mr. Warding's.
I'm more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said. His voice alone inspires one with absolute credulity.
Then, you think we should forgive them?
Yes. I mean, no.
True. I had forgotten. There are principles at stake that one cannot surrender. Which of us should tell them? The task is not a pleasant one.
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time from me?
Certainly. Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Christian names? Is that all? But we're going to be christened this afternoon.
For my sake, you are prepared to do this terrible thing?
I am.
To please me, you're ready to face this fearful ordeal.
I am.
Darling.
Darling.
Lady Bracknell.
Good heavens.
Well, what does this mean?
Merely that I have engaged to be married to Mr. Warding, Mamma.
Come here. Sit down. Sit down immediately.
I am engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Bracknell.
You're nothing of the kind, sir. And now as regards Algernon. Algernon? Algernon.
Yes, Aunt Augusta?
May I ask if it is in this house that your invalid friend Mr. Bunbury resides?
Oh no! Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is somewhere else at the present. In fact, Bunbury's dead.
Dad? I'm glad that he made up his mind at last. Some definite course of action. And now may I ask who is that young person whose hand you are now holding in what seems to me a peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I'm engaged to be married to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon. Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged to be married, Lady Bracknell.
I think some preliminary inquiry on my part would not be out of place. Mr. Warding, is Miss Cardew at all connected with any of the larger railway stations in London? I merely desire information. Until yesterday, I had no idea that there were any persons whose origin was determinist.
Miss Cardew is granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew, 149 Belgrave Square. I have in my possession, you'll be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles.
Gwendolyn, the time approaches our departure. We have not a moment to lose. As a matter of form, Mr. Wilde, I had better ask you if Miss Caddy has any little fortune.
Only about £130,000 in the funds. That is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell. So pleased to have seen you.
A moment, Mr. Wilde. £130,000. And in the funds. Miss Cardew seems to me a most attractive young lady, now that I look at her. Come over here, dear. Sweet child. The address is sadly simple. Kindly turn round. No, the side here is what I want. Yes, quite as expected. There are distinct social possibilities in your profile. The chin a little higher, dear. Style largely depends on the way the chin is worn. They were very high. Just at present. Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta?
I suppose I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Cecily, you may kiss me.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
The marriage, I think, had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
To speak frankly, I'm not in favor of long engagements. They give people the opportunity of finding out each other's character before marriage. Which I think is never advisable.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell. But this engagement is quite out of the question. I am Miss Cardew's guardian, and she cannot marry without my consent. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
On what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more can one desire?
It pains me very much to have to speak frankly to you, Lady Bracknell, about your nephew. But the fact is, I do not approve at all of his moral character, and I decline to give my consent.
Come here, sweet child. How old are you, dear?
Well, I'm really only 18, but I always admit to 20 when I go to evening parties.
I see. Better fitting to 20. Well, it will not be very long before you are of age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So I don't think your guardian's consent is, after all, a matter of any
Pray,
importance.
excuse me, Lady Bracknell, for interrupting you again. But, according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not come legally of age till she is 35.
That does not seem to me to be a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. I see no reason why my dear Cecily should not be even more attractive at the age you mentioned than she is at present.
Algie, could you wait for me till I was 35?
Of course I could, Cecily. You know I could.
Yes, I felt it instinctively, but I couldn't wait all the time. I hate waiting even 5 minutes for anybody, and waiting to be married is quite out of the question.
What is to be done, then?
I don't know.
My dear Mr. Gordon, as Miss Carter states positively that she cannot wait until she is 35, I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
But my dear Lady Bracknell, the matter is entirely in your own hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolyn, I will most gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my work.
You must be quite aware that what you propose is out of the question. That is not the destiny I propose for Gwendolyn. Algernon, of course, can choose for himself. Come, dear, you already missed 5 if not 6 trains.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christening, sir? Is not that somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age, the idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon.
Yes?
I forbid you to be baptized. I will not hear of such excesses.
Am I to understand that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think that, as things are now, it would be of much practical value to either of us, Dr. Chasuble.
Then I will return to the church at once. Indeed, I have just been informed that for the last hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Miss Prism? Did I hear you mention a Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell. She has been a governor of my ward for the last 3 years.
Yes, Lady Bracknell. I am on my way to join her.
Pray allow me to continue for a moment. This matter may prove to be one of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect, remotely connected with education?
She is the most cultivated of ladies, and the very picture of respectability.
It is obviously the same person. I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
She approaches. She is nigh.
I was told you expected me in the vestry, dear Ken. I have been waiting for an hour and 3 quarters.
Prism? Come here, Prism! Prism, where is that baby? 28 years ago, Prism, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104 up Grounder Street, in charge of a perambulator that contains a baby of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, through the investigations of Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered standing at midnight by itself in a remote corner of Bayswater. But the baby was not there. Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame that I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are this. On the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded on my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out in his perambulator. I had also with me somewhat old but capacious handbag, in which I had intended to place the manuscript of work of fiction that I had written during my few unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
But where did you deposit the handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you deposited the handbag that contained the infant.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria.
The Brighton line.
Yes?
I must retire to my room for a moment. Gwendolyn, wait here for me.
If you're not too long, I will wait here for you all my life.
Uncle Jack seems strangely agitated.
Your guardian has a very emotional nature.
I would kindly ask you, sir, not to tell anything about your guardian, especially when you have missed the topic of the discussion.
My dearest Lady Bracknell, you seem to be the fairest of them all.
Is this the handbag, Miss Prism? Examine it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than one life depends on the answer.
It seems to be mine. Yes, here is the injury. It receives through the upsetting of a past in younger and happier days. And here, on the log, are my initials. I had forgotten I had placed them there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I'm delighted to have it so unexpectedly restored to me. It has been a great inconvenience being without it all these years.
Miss Prism, more is restored to you than this handbag. I was the baby you placed in it.
You?
Yes, Mother!
I am unmarried.
Unmarried. I don't deny that this is a serious blow. But after all, who has the right to cast stones against one who has suffered? Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, there is some error. There is a lady who can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me who I am?
You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother? Then I have a brother after all. I knew I had a brother! I was certain I had a brother. Cecily, how could you have ever doubted that I have a brother? Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. Algy, scoundrel, you have to treat me with more respect in the future. You have never behaved me like a brother in all your life.
Well, not till today, old boy, I admit. I did my best, however, though I was out of practice.
But my own, Jack, but what is your name now that you have become someone else?
Good heavens, I have quite forgotten that point. The question better be cleared up at once. Lady Aunt Augusta, a moment. When Miss Prism left me in a handbag, had I been christened already?
Every luxury that money could buy, including christening, had been lavished on you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I've been christened. That is settled now. What name was I given? Let me know the worst.
Being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes. What was my father's Christian name?
I cannot at the present moment recall what the general's Christian name was, but I have no doubt he had one.
Algy, can't you recollect what our father's Christian name was?
My dear fellow, we were never even on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old.
Fortunate brother. Miss Br- His name would appear in the army list of the period, I suppose,
I
Aunt
have
Augusta.
no doubt. It would appear in any military directory.
The army list of the last 40 years are here. This delightful record should be my constant study. Generals. Malum, Maxpen, Magley. What ghastly names we have. Magby, Maxby, Mops, Moncrief. Lieutenant, 1840. Captain, Lieutenant, Lieutenant Coral. General, 1869. Christian names. Ernest. John. I have always told you, Gwendolyn. My name was Ernest, didn't I? I mean, naturally, he's Ernest.
Ernest? My own Ernest! I felt from the first that you could have no other name.
Gwendolyn, it is a terrible thing for a man to find out quite suddenly that all his life he has been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you forgive me?
I can. For I feel that you are sure to change.
Gwendolyn.
I have come to the conclusion that the primitive church was in error on certain points. Miss Prism, Letitia, I beg to solicit the honor of your hand.
President and Lord!
Cecily! At last! Gwendolyn, at last.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying the signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I have now realized for the first time in my life vital importance of being earnest.